Hi, I'm Jon Binnie, your spiritual psychic mentor here in Scotland, and I'm here today with your rest of 2025 and 2026 onwards predictions, channeled messages, and guidance on this somewhat chaotic and roller coaster of our human journey. So let us, first of all, thank all of you for all your incredible love and support. I hope you're enjoying the holidays if you celebrate it, however you celebrate it. For those celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas. It's Boxing Day today here in the UK, which is also a public holiday. And then we have that kind of reflections point, right, between now and New Year. In Scotland, New Year's a big thing. A little less so in the rest of the UK, certainly in England. So yeah, excited to really take us through this transitional time. And I'm really enjoying my time off. You might be wondering, why am I doing a video at this time? Well, I asked my heart after doing some music, what would I love? What would bring me the most joy at this time? And it is this. So I will keep this video concise and focused on this immediate term. So look out for another video over the coming days and week as we come up to the end of New Year. I'm sure I'll be sharing a lot more. Okay, as always, it's beautifully important to create a safe space around ourselves, especially as I'm bringing in these messages for our highest good, to make sure there's no noisy interference from any unwanted beings or entities, and also for you to be able to receive in a clear and clean channel. Okay, so please join me as we create a safe space and take a deep breath in through the nose. Breathing out what no longer serves our highest good, nice and loud. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out any fear, shame, anxiety, stress, or pain, nice and loud. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. Breathing out any remaining low vibration energy or emotion that no longer serves you, nice and loud. And continue to breathe deeply and calmly as it feels right for you. Focus your attention now on the very center of your heart, where your golden divine spark of your soul enters your human form. And from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light up through the top of your head, up into the sky, up into the stars, all the way up through the highest frequencies and dimensions of this universe, until you reach the highest dimension of the source of love. And there, connecting your light cord into the highest dimension of source, feeling into that oneness, unity, and unconditional love. Remain connected into source and extend your light cord down to the stars and sky, back down to top of your head and into your heart once more. And now from the center of your heart, extend a cord of light downwards, down through the base of your spine and deep into the earth, all the way down through the layers of the planet until you reach the very core of Mother Gaia. And there, connecting to Mother Gaia's crystalline heart. And we send Mother Gaia so much love at this time. Allow her to send her love back. And from the center of our hearts now, as we bring that connection up from Gaia's heart up into ours, we expand out a golden bubble of protective light to surround ourselves, about 2 meters out to each side, above and below, in front and behind you, and set the intention that only energies and entities with your permission, your highest good love and compassion, can see you, access you, or exist within this space or within you, and that all other energies and entities must leave immediately. Into your safe space, invite in your spirit guides, your higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source, and Gaia, and ask at this time for their guidance, clearing, healing, protection, and assistance with the integration of today's messages and session. And just encourage your heart now. Heart, it's safe to open. Heart, it's safe to open. Heart, it's safe to open. And now, Through space and time, I create a golden protective bubble around all of us watching and engaging with today's video, around all aspects of us across space and time. And I set the intention for the session space. Only energies and entities with our permission, our highest good, love, and compassion can see us, access us, or exist within this space or within us, and that all other energies and entities must leave immediately. Inviting in my spirit guides, my higher self, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, Sol and Luna. And I set the intention that we are here to receive messages for the highest good of all of those who choose to engage with today's video, both for the remainder of 2025 and throughout 2026 and beyond. And with this, we will get started. So I also wanted to say big thanks to all of you. Thank you for an incredible 2025. Thank you for supporting me. All the YouTube things, liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, commenting, sharing my work. I'm truly grateful. And it really touches my heart, all the beautiful messages that I've been responding to over the last few days. So much gratitude for you all. And of course, thank you for your donations, your bookings, and supporting me continuing to do this work. And you might want to keep an eye out for so he's not in my studio just now, but there is a new addition to the Binnie family. His name is Micro Binnie. He's a small Lego-like character, a present from my wonderful daughter. So a massive thank you to her. And Micro Binnie has already featured in his own video this morning with a little "Hi, it's Jon" video, and some pictures on my posts, my community page of YouTube, as he's practicing in private, I'm sure, to begin with, his own psychic tree talk videos. He's a lot of fun. And I felt obliged to share that as soon as I pick up a coffee mug, because as Micro Binnie was gifted to me yesterday, I was wearing this outfit. I was Christmas morning, I'm wearing like black, and I have like the gray hair is growing, right? And or maybe it's disappearing. I'm not really sure. It's kind of looked like I'm about as gray as I was 10 years ago. And I started going gray about 17. And the coffee cup. So it's like, it's a great look, right? So I know Mother Gaia would like to share a message, and it's definitely a shift in tone and intention, which is really exciting. So let me just slurp some coffee on mute. Okay, so let's ask Mother Gaia for messages for our highest good at this time, please. I'm just inviting Mother Gaia in to my body to channel through me. Yes, please do, Mother Gaia. Children of the earth, souls of the universe, welcome. The shift in intention and energy that Jon speaks of is a reflection of the shift in all of you. I come to you at this time, the soul of your planet Earth, your mother, Mother Gaia. I come to you to thank you. Thank you for all the attention you have given me so far in your calendar year. I know that your calendar is not really true or synchronized in any way with the cycles of the earth, the cycles of the moon, the cycles of the sun. There are some references. I just want you to know I am aware of many of the systems, both the ones that serve you and the ones that contain and control you. And so I come to you with this message today. Thank you for beginning increasingly to become aware of the beings that are seeking to actively control and constrain you. Bring your awareness to them. Bring your love with sovereignty and boundaries and free will to all beings. There is karma and karmic justice working its way throughout planet Earth at this time. You ask questions of Jon, and Jon answers to the best of his abilities and those that he channels through him, the predictions of what comes next. And I want you to see and to feel that the truth and its karmic rebalancing as a result is absolutely key to this continued transformation. And this is why I thank you. I thank you all individually, all of you watching this video, because your consciousness becoming acutely aware more and more each day of the real truths that go on around this world, and especially the small number of people that choose to control you and many others, if not the whole planet, know that their reign of control is coming to an end. They choose to hide behind world leaders, politicians, businessmen, the public faces of them. They are real people, and they are also under real control and influence by other beings, far darker than themselves. And this is all an interplay between darkness and light, a balancing of everything in between. And for far too long now, here upon the earth, I, your Mother Gaia, have tolerated the behaviors of the few, the elite, that are greedy in their control and their lust for your energy, for your freedom, for your abundance, holding you, pinning you down in your lack, forcing you to work harder and harder to fuel your greed and in turn theirs. And I come to you to share that this revolution of this world comes from within each of you. And it starts with your awareness, your very awareness of the truth of the reality around you. And in every single present moment, you get to make choices. For example, you may be sat on your phone or computer over the holiday period, wondering what to do, feeling a bit bored, thinking of spending or buying. All I ask is that you bring your conscious awareness to all your actions, including your purchases. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Perhaps even place your hand on your heart. And when you bring your awareness to what you buy, consume, what you watch on TV, what you eat, what you drink, what you bring into your body, give thought and consciousness, conscious awareness to all that goes into the production of what you consume. Your awareness is a huge step forwards in the revolution of this world within. And now, as you begin to look further and deeper within, I thank you for all of the hard decisions you've made in 2025. All those cycles of days and nights, weeks and months, as you came up to the solstice just a few days ago. That solstice is this beginning of the introduction of a new timeline, And if you're watching this, engaging with this video, you're already in this highest timeline. 2025 has been here to help teach you, to show you all the things in this world that you do not want, to show you the behaviors of world leaders, the greed, control, the bullying, the inequality, the warmongering. These are the reflections of humanity that you get to choose if you want or not. If you choose peace, then say it. Speak it out loud. I choose peace. I choose love. Whatever you choose, speak it, say it, and consciously be aware of it when you're doing. When you're thinking about all the other beautiful beings around this world, when you're taking actions, talking, writing, walking, driving, running, dancing, whatever you're doing, give thought to all the hearts across the world at this time. Bring gratitude. Bring compassion. Bring in your love. Because this world that you are creating, you are now in the process of building this new world's very foundations. And so your conscious awareness of the lessons of not just yourself, but also of humanity in 2025 will actively inform the creation of your new world in 2026. So I'm here to thank you. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for all of those hardships you've endured. Thank you for taking on these human, bodily, earthly missions, this whole human experience. For you are a beautiful divine soul who's come to earth, come to this planet to walk across the very skin of the body of Mother Earth, to be here in flesh and blood and bone. And yet you are divine. You are bright. You are with fire of light in your heart. You are born into this darkness of this deep, chaotic turmoil of the third dimensional earth to help create a new version. A new version in your love, compassion, equality, your unconditional love for all beings, your sovereignty, your boundaries, whatever you choose. I invite you into 2026 to start making your choices each day more consciously, with clear intention, with clear purpose, clear vision. And allow this universe to continue to play out the reflections of what's going on inside of you. You will carry your shadows. You will face many more challenges in 2026, yet that feeling of feeling lost and burdened and hopelessness is beginning to slowly fade from you and humanity. And I encourage you, warriors of light, warriors of love, warriors of ancient soul wisdoms, I invite you to continue to build this new earth with me and upon me. Feel that excitement, love, and joy in your heart and hold it for as long as you can each day. I love you. I am with you always. Mother Gaia. Wow, thank you, Mother Gaia. Really, a really beautiful channeling. My personal experiences of that channeling were I felt maybe for the first time, far more of Mother Gaia's thinking as I was speaking. And there were moments when I was channeling that I thought, maybe are these my thoughts? Are these my thought processes that are creating some of the channeled messages? And yet, no, I wasn't creating them. I was receiving them. And it's just a beautiful, I just want to acknowledge that beautiful interconnection and bond with Mother Gaia. And how beautiful that she's thanking us all. And I want to thank you too. Thank you for all the things that you do. You know, every time you support me, every time you come to videos of mine or, you know, like mine, you know, that help you reconnect with yourself, with your conscious awareness, with your presence, with your heart, you are absolutely building the foundations of this new earth. And I want you to remember that, because we continue to face challenges, especially as the truths are revealed, sometimes, you know, frustratingly slow, sometimes starting and stopping. And this is all for purpose. This is all for reason. This is all as a reflection of what's going on inside of us. And so every time we experience these harder, darker, deeper emotions, allow those shadows to reflect back to us, to see them, say, I see you. I want that truth to be released faster. I want those that have done these things to others to be held accountable faster. Like, allow those feelings to come up and to be shared, and see that they are just as important as the truths themselves, the journey through which we will see these truths revealed. And, you know, some of these latter points, I'm referring to the Epstein files. The more, as an example, the more we see these truths revealed and we feel the kind of roller coaster we go through, the more it kind of rattles and shakes and disturbs and begins to break apart the very control, the institutions, the foundations, the clubs, right? These often very secretive membership clubs that go on across our people in power across the world. You know, all these things start to creak and get shaken up and gradually fall apart, which is what this world needs. Okay. Let me just check if there's any more messages from my spirit guides or Sol or Luna or the Galactic Federation, because there's a couple of questions I want to answer. Just ask my spirit guide, Maya. My spirit guide, Maya, is just really adding to Gaia and myself's messages. She says, please do rest and reflect and receive and really keep present. She's saying the worries, she says, my spirit guide Maya says, imagine the present moment is this current sphere, why am I saying it so strange? Sphere of consciousness is this like presence, this present moment right now. It's this now moment. And if you're watching this video and maybe you should be connecting with your loved ones in the room, you know, maybe you'll pause this video and come back to it. She's saying, like, really hold the presence, you know, getting used to feeling and to holding space for our presence and allowing ourselves to receive into it. And what's so powerful about that receiving is when she's saying, when we're in the future, so imagine this, there's another sphere here that's the future. When we take our consciousness out of the present moment and we put it into this other sphere, which is a projection of the future, and often it's our anxiety, right? Maybe we'd say to ourselves, you know, there's a future of lack. I'm worried about not having enough money, for example. And so this projection into that future, she says, it takes you out of the present moment. It takes you away from the things you love, the people you love, the things that bring you joy in your life. And by things, the doing things and the receiving things, not necessarily material things. And so she says, come back out, come out of that anxiety in the future and come back into this presence. And please remember that there is this beautiful abundance flowing into you, towards you, constantly from this universe. And all it asks is you to step outside of that anxiety, that feeling of lack, that other potential future. And often we project a worst case scenario future in front of us, or we start to pick into like little bits of it. So come out of that and come back into the presence. And she says, catch yourself. It's okay to find ourselves in anxiety, in stress, in worry, in fear of lack in the future. And she says, also acknowledge that the longer you spend within that, the more you begin to create it in the actual present moment. Because your consciousness is not constrained by dimension or time. Your conscious awareness can exist in that future too. And so what's it doing when you're spending that time in the future of lack and fear? You're busy manifesting it, you're busy creating it, and you're busy creating it now. For our consciousness is only really now. So as we continue through this roller coaster of our lives and the chaos and the continued disruption of the world outside of us, we're on this journey to break free of those programs that constantly try and pull us back into fear. Oh, what about war? What about running out of money? What about higher taxes? What about lack of freedom? What about lack of sovereignty? It's like these constant, constant drip feeding from those that, let's call them elites, who try to control us. They want us to keep worrying about the fear because they can control that. They can drip into these, Maya showed me, these little dark, toxic drips of fear that drip into that future reality so that it becomes a reality. Created by who? Seeded by them, and actually created by you and I. And so their seed is the way of controlling us and leading that path. And it's, those seeds are news, they're movies, they're anything that is created often en masse, across the world, is very much to seed, to create a grim reality for you to subscribe to. And you can choose not to, right? You can say, actually, I've been doing that quite a while. I've had enough. I just want to focus on now. And I want to open myself up to creating futures, like allowing futures to come in that are far more infinitely beautiful and abundant than I could ever imagine. And right now in my life, I feel, for me, that's so true. I feel more financial abundance, more freedom and flow and creativity, physical health and happiness with my family, loved ones, friends. I've never felt this happy in my life, and I've never felt so contented. And I'm spending so much, every time I catch myself in the future, every time that anxiety comes up and I feel myself being pulled into other kind of deeper, darker, anxious future, I just say to myself, remember, Jon, what you're grateful for in this moment. I'm grateful for all the things I just told you: family, friends, loved ones, money, materialism. I have all the things I could possibly need. And I just focus on that energy. And I say, I'm open to continue to receive what's right for me and to continue to release what no longer serves me, including I still have a little bit of decluttering to do in my garage over the holidays. I've been resting instead of that. I've spent hours and hours and hours on the sofa. It's been so good. As demonstrated by my dog Patch. Okay. And so my spirit guide Maya says, please come back to your hearts in this present moment. to love for your loved ones, the gratitude for everything that you cherish in your life. Come back to your bodies and come back to nature, back to Mother Earth. And she's doing this with her hands. She's saying, welcome, welcome, human. Welcome back to Earth. Welcome back to nature. Welcome back to your hearts. You are part of, one with nature. Thank you, Maya. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions that I want to answer today before we finish today's video. Thank you for your questions. Keep your questions coming. I love your questions so much. Thank you. And I'm almost out of questions. I think I have 9 questions left. So I could get through those in a couple of videos. Wouldn't that be amazing if I got through all the questions? Then I'd feel good. Right. Okay, so let's go for the first question. Oh, this is quite hard to reach. Hang on, because my microphone's quite far away. Apologies for any noises. Okay, we did it. It didn't go like or make any crazy noises. Okay, let's choose the first question. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Okay. So this question, just on the 22nd of December, is from Late for Breakfast 365. And the question is, satellites in low Earth orbit require constant and precise maneuvering to avoid collisions with other satellites and space junk. A recent study suggests a loss of satellite communication for a length of time due to a solar storm or other reason could result in cascading runaway collisions. What does Jon's guides or Soul or Gaia say about the possibility of this happening in 2026? Reference spaceweather.com news for December 19th. Okay. So my spirit guide Marita has come forwards. Okay, she wants me to just share some, I don't know the full answer yet, which I really want to, but she's going to tell me some segments. Okay, so the first is, and this may surprise you, right? The first is, so my spirit guide Marita is a mantis guide. She's a galactic mantis guide, so she's we would call her an extraterrestrial. And she's also part of the Galactic Federation. And she says, the Galactic Federation, who are a federation of beings, she's saying united or unified beings from around the universe. She says that there is, how to describe it? There is a voluntary, around Earth and the solar system, and in fact, the Milky Way, there is a voluntary kind of no-go zone, if you like, for Earth, because what they're encouraging, what the Galactic Federation are encouraging is to give Earth space to continue to grow. And so, and this continuing to grow is ascension. Ascension without too much interference, okay? And then, okay, and so the next thing she wants to say is that some examples of ships that come in and out of our solar system, there's not one, including the Galactic Federation, there's not one kind of council of light or federation or supreme beings, right, that control what comes in and out of our solar system. And to this extent, any ship, right, can decide that they'll get queried and asked, like, why are you trying to come into the solar system? Why are you trying to come into Earth? But also the free will of those ships is also respected. And I find that really fascinating because I remember some of that coming up. I don't know if I said it publicly, but some of the first experiences I had with 3i Atlas, that was some of the feelings, was that there was disagreement, for instance, from the Galactic Federation, that they didn't want some ships. There's also, what's the other one? Is it R2C 2025? Or is that what it's called? C 2025 R2 or something? And there's others, right? There's a lot of other objects, right, that come in and out of our solar system. It's that feeling of almost like watching your children make a mistake. It's like, oh, okay, I told you not to do it, but you're going ahead anyway, and oh, you're making a bit of a mistake. But just trying to offer guidance and allow these things to happen safely. And you might be wondering, wow, Jon and Marita, why are you spending so much time describing this when there's the questions about satellites? So let's come, closer down into Earth. So the next thing is, there is, Marita's saying that there is a crumbling of what she calls the dark matrix. And so parts of the dark matrix exist on Earth, some beneath the Earth, and some of it is in Earth's atmosphere. And the denial of the dark matrix is really important for those that choose to try and control the Earth. If we discovered en masse, if humanity discovered en masse that the dark matrix, and I describe these as like small, dark, and they're not really satellites, right? Because they are ships, but they're more like nodes, and they create like this false web around the outside, a web of control around the outside of Earth's atmosphere. And they're ancient, right? They're thousands of years old. And some of them are starting to malfunction. Some of them are starting to fall out of the sky. And some of these are actively being cleared up by our own governments and our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters, our extraterrestrial family are also helping clear it up. So she's coming on to the third part to help answer this question. So some of what, and it's really interesting, right? There's always, what is the perfect lie? The perfect lie is seeded with some truth. Why? Because if you can seed a lie with a little bit of truth, whenever someone challenges you about the lie, you can just go back to that part and go back to the truth part of it, right? And the energy of it, and remember in 2025, you and I, everyone on Earth will become much more awakened and opened up to receiving, will get much better at discerning the frequency of truth within energies that other people share. So look forward to that, right? Look forward to videos like this and from others around the world, and keep practicing, placing your hand on your heart and saying, heart, is this true? Is it true what they're saying? Does their energy match their intention? Does their energy inside their heart match the words they're saying? Is what they're saying for my highest good? Like lots of yes, no questions. Ask your heart. Practice this. Practice it with me, as we've done in previous videos. Practice it with others. Okay. So that third stage is that there's a bit of a cover story going on here, Marita's saying, which is that, yes, there's a lot of space junk. So what you'll see is, right, and we just, as a human race, like we're busy polluting everything we touch, right? Not every single human's doing this, right? But en masse, this is what humans are doing. The oceans, the land, whatever we touch in now, space, we're just polluting it, right? And that space junk and satellite pollution is one excuse for what we'll see more of in our skies. So we'll see more of, Marita says, more of satellites like trying their best to like avoid each other, which personally I find so fascinating. She's saying there's a, and I was just checking to see if you'd mentioned this, there's a cascading effect. Yes, you said the cascading effect. So she says, agreed, there's a cascading effect, which is that almost like as soon as, if one satellite hits junk or two satellites hit each other, they then create more debris and so on, right? And then there's more debris to hit and so on, right? So in addition to that, there's also these dark matrix satellites, or I think nodes is what the term I settled on. Now these are more fourth dimensional, but the third and fourth dimensions are blurring now, right? So they used to be able to hide in the fourth dimension. We would see them as shadows, right? You and I would, if we saw one in a room right now, we'd see this kind of shadow object, like they're kind of like these dark spheres. That's what Marita's showing me. So they're really hard for us to see in the night sky. And they're not really fully yet in the third dimension. And this is, oh, it's so beautiful. Thank you, Marita. So Marita had been telling me earlier in this week that a lot of the ships up in our skies and in our atmosphere, so going up into atmosphere and around the Earth and the orbit of Earth, a lot of the ships that depend upon their propulsion systems primarily keeping them in out of sight, because they shift, so they're using dimensional shifting, like zero, sometimes referred to as like 0 point, or ambient energy propulsion systems. Is that what they're really doing is they're kind of sucking the energy out of the third dimension, which is why they kind of turn into like a shadow form, and then keeping themselves in place and flying around in the fourth. So they would be invisible, these ships, and the dark web nodes would be typically invisible to us, especially when we're in lower vibration third dimensional state. So if you're in fear and you're in lower vibration third dimensional state, you're just not going to experience any of these higher vibration fourth dimensional ships. And especially as these two dimensions, so the third, your journey, if you like, in the third dimension, you're rising up with the Earth, coming up into the fourth dimension, and the lower, every dimension has a range. So you're coming up into the lower aspects of the fourth dimensional range. And as you come up into it, you're going to start to experience more. And so part of it, you and I will see more. Then Marita says, yes, there'll also be more actual collisions. So imagine something imagine one of our satellites, for example, that is at a very high vibration third dimensional state. And then just above it is another dark web node or other ship, like a UFO, a UAP, that's kind of just hiding in the lower fourth dimension. They become really close. And so they would, if they passed each other without physically colliding, they could still interfere with each other's electromagnetic fields, right? They could cause like an EMP-like experience both ways. Wow, this is all so much, Rita, in one answer. I was hoping for like a yes or no. And she's laughing at me doing her dance. Oh, she says, thank you for the song and thank you for everyone. I did a song where I channeled Marita for a whole song at Mantis Song recently. Thank you, Marita. So yeah, can we summarize this? What's happening in 2026 regarding satellites, satellite communication, solar storms, cascading runaway collisions? She says yes, all of the above. And the cover story, like the spaceweather.com kind of cover story, is that, oh, well, it's the sun's activity, so it's kind of like projecting this kind of fear onto the sun's behavior and then saying, well, that's one of the causes. And actually, the causes are a bit more complex in that, yes, it's solar activity, but solar activity is an expression of ascension wave energy coming through the sun and into Earth. You and I and the Earth raising our vibrations. This is also pushing up many of our satellites and thinning that already thin veil. It's a veil after all, right? Thinning the veil between the third and fourth dimensions. And so starting to see more activity in the sky, more collisions, and more disruption. And it's so fascinating because going back to like summer, or was it around August this year, when I first started using my Psionics Aurora Pro night vision camera, which shows up these objects so beautifully well, is that when I first started channeling them, they were saying, I was asking, who are you? What are you doing? And they said, we're clearing up the sky. So that, and I didn't quite understand, well, I didn't understand then about the true breadth of what needs clearing up. There's the there's all the space junk, right? There's many what we might term as satellites, or little ships, many of which are human made in orbit, whether they have people in them or not. Like there are technologies that are not publicly known about. There's the dark web matrix, and then there's also interactions with extraterrestrials coming in and helping with a clear up as well. So there's a lot going on up there. And at the core of all of this is our ascension, the ascension waves, and us rising up. How exciting. Thank you for your question, Late for Breakfast 365. I love that question. Fantastic. Okay, so next question. I think we'll just do one more question because I must take Patch out for a walk. I know if I wait too late in the morning, UK time, he gets annoyed. Okay. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Okay. An abrupt ending to my my reverb pedal. So this next one's from Howard. Howard, you just call yourself Howard. There's no other details. I feel like I know who you are. So thank you for your question, Howard. Hi, John. Back in October, the 27th of September video, if my notes are accurate, you referred to the dates January 17th and January 27th as highly significant. Ascension locks into place with the 17th, interestingly, having 2 8s in the date, being an inflection, and 2 external cycles, and there being no turning back as of the 27th. Does this all seem to be unfolding like this? Thank you. Well, no, thank you, Howard. Thank you, because it feels, it is a very vulnerable thing doing these prediction videos for sure. I feel like constantly putting stuff out there, and you feel you feel vulnerable, right? You're like, as a human, you're like, is this going to happen? Are these things? There's all these beings. They're going to, whether it's the sun, Sol, or Gaia, or ETs, or humans. Like there's so many thousands, millions, billions of beings that are creating this reality. Making predictions on it is always going to be a prediction. It's never going to be, fact. As we heard earlier, there's only really the present moment, right? So I'm not excusing any of this. I'm just reflecting on how it feels for me personally, creating these predictions. And I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And I always, encourage you to practice your discernment. And I feel like Howard's doing a great job there, right? It's like, in part, like holding me accountable and saying, John, you said a thing. Okay, let's get an update on that, which I love. I really love that. And it's okay if things, don't come true, because as we heard, there's a huge amount of free will. This universe and the timelines are not predetermined, right? Which is great. And then there are, there's these like big underlying, actions and decisions made by some of the very significant beings in our lives, including Mother Gaia, Sol, Luna, our guides, our higher selves, archangels, and many more, as well as, most importantly, you. You're creating your reality all the time. Okay, so let's ask this question. Let's see who wants to come forwards. Okay, Sol wants to come forwards. Interesting. Thank you, Sol. It says, John, I think you're a bit too tired after channeling Gaia to channel him directly. So I'll talk to him. It's lovely. He's showing me these, reminds me of rainbow colors. And instead of it being like a traditional rainbow, like an arch, he's showing me like little speckles, these little speckles of light. So imagine a rainbow, but it was only being illuminated in little speckles of light. And they're like flowing, Sol is like flowing these little speckles of rainbow light towards me. What are these, Sol? He says they are the elements of the ascension waves destined for me personally. So he's saying that imagine a wave of ascension, right? An ascension wave. And it's like, he says it's like a rainbow. It has a broad frequency range, broader than our eyes are able to see in rainbows. And then he says, every ascension wave has little parts, like tiny little particles of light encoded with love energy and whatever we need to help upgrade our DNA to help support our bodies and our own ascension. He says, so in other words, out of this this huge ascension wave that flows through from source, through soul and into our hearts, little speckles of it are specific to you and I, right? So it's like our little share, our little part of an ascension wave to receive. And I'm just asking about January the 17th. So, okay, so, oh, wow. Now I get why Soul's talking about ascension waves. So I thought we were going to talk about timelines, and Soul's saying it is a timeline. So remember at the solstice in December, was that around the 21st? We went into this period where I kept showing, I'm trying to show it with my hands, right? There's a lower vibration timeline, which many of us were on. And now there's this new timeline coming up over the top. And so that started just at that point. I think the way Marita, my spirit guide, described it, it's like picking yourselves up by your boots, right? It's like a I don't know why I do these things. And so just at that point, so Sol is saying lowest timeline, highest timeline, and then up, just coming up over the top. So starting to come up over the top is where we're at right now. And so the inflection point, January the 17th, was shown as about just about at the top, right? So at the top of the arc, at the top of an ascension wave. So I'm trying not to confuse these, different concepts. Sol is describing both the shape of this highest timeline coming up over the lower vibration timeline as both like a timeline arc as it goes up over it, and also an ascension wave, because that's exactly what it's for. This timeline is a response to us lifting up our vibrations and riding more of the ascension wave and not just kind of falling out of it like, oh, I'm too fearful, oh, my heart's too closed, and dropping out of the ascension. You can come back into it, don't worry, right? But it's like, instead of that, you're riding upwards over the top. So inflection point, just at January the 17th, up at the top. So I'm going to take a note of this, especially as I'm talking, because I won't remember to do it. So I've written down January the 17th, inflection point, and 1 second. I've said top of the ascension wave rainbow. It'll make sense soon, I'm sure. Okay, and then January the 27th, this aspect of ascension locking into place. Let me ask about this, and no turning back. So by then, Sol is saying that it's down the other side. So it's the completion of this arcing across timelines. Okay. So I was just asking some questions about, is there a specific length of time of this? And Sol was saying there is some numerology, as Howard was picking up on, which was, that the 1 and the 7 is also an 8, which is interesting. And there's this the completion part. So the distance, it's more than a calendar month, right? Between the 21st of December. So it's like 21st of December here, 17th of January up at the top of the ascension wave rainbow, and then down on the other side of it. Because these are waves to go up and down, right? And it's down on the other side, and then it locks in place, and there's no turning back. Let me just ask about this. Why is there no turning back? So how do I describe this? I'm getting like a few answers from Soul. The first is generally, right? A kind of general statement is for most of us, there's no turning back. If you've chosen this higher timeline, then you will naturally continue to flow. You'll have gone up over the top of the the lower vibration timeline, and you continue on. We'll dip down again in our vibration and come back up. So timelines aren't straight, right? They go up and down like this with their energy. So they're more like a wave, right? Like a wave of light, and more like ascension waves, right? And that's why they're really what Soul's saying is that you are surfing, and I feel that's a good analogy. You're surfing the ascension wave. So for as long as you choose to be standing on your surfboard, and like I wish I had micro Binnie with me. As long as you're here just on this wave and you're constantly like riding the crest of that wave, the ascension wave, you continue to rise up. Unless you make a conscious decision. So that's the no turning back part, right? Unless you make the conscious decision, say, like, I'm done. Like, I'm not ascending anymore. I'm out of here, because you have free will. You can jump between any timeline you want. And you can say, ascension is not for me. Take me back to boozy lunches, eating lots of meat, watching horror movies, surrounding myself with toxic people, surrounding myself with my fears and self-loathing. Like, I'm not trying to judge all those individual things and say that they're bad or good. It's just like cumulatively, if you devour all of your more low vibration behaviors, then you're going to fall out of that. It's like you're saying a conscious decision. You're coming out of that ascension. Just take me back. And it's such a strange thing. Who's that character? Is it Locke? I can't remember the character in the Matrix who says, if it's a steak, if it tastes like a steak and looks like a steak, then it is a steak. I'm paraphrasing, right? So asks the agent to take him back to the Matrix and just to plug him back into the Matrix. He wants to just be in the Matrix again, and not like the other characters that have broken free and that get to live in Zion and so on. So it's that feeling of like, you can do it. And it was so strange. My spirit guides are asking, you sure, Jon? You sure you don't want to, you could even have a day off. Why don't you drink alcohol for a day? Why don't you do all the things you used to do for a day? And it's like, I don't know what would happen if I drank alcohol now. It's been years, 6, 7 years. I don't really know. I don't know what would happen to me. Like, it would not be an enjoyable experience. But we all get to choose these things. So in short, yes, those dates are still significant. And let me ask if there's any variance. Yes, there is. And it'll be by a few days. Soul says that a lot of it depends on Soul's ability and decisions about how much energy to continue to flow through us. So it's almost like how much energy we're ready to take at any one time. If we're ready to take more, if we're on track, yes, these dates, 17th and 27th, are good. Else there could be variance. So we can check in on that again throughout December and January. Well, we're almost at an hour. Thank you so much for coming along. I'd like to thank our guides, our higher selves, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Source and Gaia, and every soul that's participated in today's session. Sol, Luna, and every soul, thank you. Please step outside of the shared session space as I close it down and return it to Source. Please get plenty of rest, drink plenty of water, subscribe, sign up for my free meditations, book me in for a one-to-one session, check out my videos, enjoy my music, look after yourself, have an incredibly beautiful rest of 2025. So exciting what we're creating in 2026. Look after yourself, get lots of resting and receiving and reflecting, and I'll look forward to seeing you again in a few days. Take care. Sending so much love from Scotland. I love you. Bye.